Music, industry talk, stories, equipment and more. We are Crossfader and this is off the record. Off the record. Off the record.
Hello gang, welcome back to this week's Off the Record podcast. I was really quickly trying to find out what number episode it is because I've got no idea.
I'll just keep talking welcome to the
116 I think.
Nice.
Sorry you weren't here last week. Things got in the way, but this week explains why we weren't here last week.
Yeah.
There's so much to talk about. I'm not even going to ask how you are. I don't want the niceties. I don't care about your well-being this week. We're talking about stuff. Loads of stuff going on this week. Two new big controller announcements from Alpha Theta. Theta. We're sticking with Theta.
I'm sticking with Theta. I do hear Theta mentioned a few times.
Yeah, and there is a sneaky Rekordbox update which no one's really talked about yet, but we're going to talk about it. Before we get to that, we are in the midst. We are in the middle of a sale. So if you listen to this by Sunday the 13th, I want to say, it is 35% off all DJ courses right now. So no better time to take a course with us. The sale is now on. 35% off all individual courses, house, drum and bass, techno, flex 4, all the good stuff. Drum and bass. I've said drum and bass. Hip-hop, techno. Yeah. 35% off now until Sunday night, I think the 13th of October. So yeah, go check it out. We are crossfader.co.uk. Sale now on. Also, we had a big team meeting this week and we're like, oh, how can we, get a few more subscribers on the podcast? And I realised I'd never ask you to subscribe. So we just want you to have fun. That's why we don't want to ask you for anything. But yeah, if you could subscribe, that'd be great. However you get your podcasts, that'd be amazing. Right, let's get into what you came for. There's been two big product announcements. Did we talk about the headphones as well? I don't know if we
did, no.
So we'll leave that till the end.
It works because of the Sonic link, so we'll come to that.
Yeah. Let's talk about the big one that's just been announced, which is, I've wrote XZ. I keep writing XZ. It's not the XZ.
AZ.
It is the XDJ-AZ, which is basically the XZ2.
Yeah.
Right? The highlights are basically 4-channel, full standalone, built-in Wi-Fi for streaming, Beatport, a extensive device on DJ application compatibility, industry standard layout and feel, 10.1-inch capacitive touchscreen, large performance pads. It's just an XZ2 basically, isn't it?
Exactly that.
Yeah.
It is exactly that. It's what everyone wanted out of the original XZ. Is a fully standalone 4-channel unit. And if anyone remembers the original XZ, it was a 4-channel unit, but you had to plug in a laptop to use the 4 channels. So you couldn't just use a USB stick in the top and play off 4 channels. That was only 2 channels. So now we have the AZ. You can plug one USB drive in and you can mix 4 different decks at the same time, which everyone's been crying out for from Pioneer DJ, Alpha Theta, for a while now. And it's like the top end product in their product range before you get to the CDJ setup. And what it really is it's the functionality of 4 CDJ-3000s, sort of, and a DJM-A9 mixer, which is sort of what's in the clubs at the moment. And you kind of get all of that for a much smaller price point. Now, it's something to consider, really. Like, CDJs cost like nearly £2,000 a piece, I think, or more.
The price of the AZ is €3,299 euros, $3,199, £2,799. So, yeah, but you're going to mention about if you wanted a CDJ setup.
If you wanted to replicate that on CDJs, you're spending twice the amount of money, at least, and you're probably not getting 4 CDJs, you're just getting 2. Yeah. So, and obviously, it isn't 4 decks. You don't have 4 individual decks, but you've got control over 4 channels, so you can there's buttons on it to swap from layer 1 to layer 3 on the left side and 2 to 4 on the right side. So, it's the one that everyone's been waiting for. It got leaked. There were
that's the thing. It got leaked.
Things online about it.
Yeah, it's weird because that got leaked. The Groove 6, which we'll talk about in a minute, didn't seem to have much chatter. But it is a funny thing with Pioneer when they always seem to drop a load of things all at the same time. I guess just to create that kind of hype.
So listen, it's ADE next week. So it's the big thing that they get all these products ready to announce so they can then showcase them at ADE, where there's going to be people there playing on the equipment in their tech zone. So it makes sense that they announce stuff. Just to a heads up, NAMM is in January. That's the other big conference in the world in LA. And that, sometimes lines up with product releases as well. A lot of people trying to drop products to then showcase them at NAMM, which is a big conference. So they do kind of try and tee up these product releases with where they know people are going to be, and especially like the AZ, with it being like a more pro end equipment, it makes sense to be able to shout about it at a conference where there's going to be like a lot of pro DJs there and people who are working DJs that will be interested in this gear. Whereas like the entry level controllers, they don't really line them up as much with the big conventions, because they know that the bedroom DJs that are going to buy the entry-level controllers aren't necessarily going to be at the convention. So they do it quite cleverly how they announce stuff, and it may be an insight into, if you're thinking, how long has something been out for? When is the next one going to be released? Yeah. Have a look at like, okay, are we coming up to the sort of October or January period? Yeah. How long's that product been out for? Yeah. Are we due a next one maybe?
Yeah. It's a bit like Apple, isn't it? Similar time every year. It's coming. You
kind of get a feeling for it, can't you?
Yeah, just go on Reddit. Reddit are always...
You know what I love about... One of the big updates about the AZ as well is that it's got the internal screens. So the screen on it, it has the same sort of like layout and UI as a CDJ-3000, which was quite a big update to their predecessor. So it's much more like touch friendly, and you can sort of navigate around it much easier, and it just looks much brighter. You can see way more tracks on the screen, which is a big thing, than you could on the XDJ-AZ. It definitely feels like a big upgrade from that point of view as well.
One thing they're pushing is this Sonic Link function. So also that's come out is the brand new headphones with Sonic Link, which
the XDJ F10s they're called.
F10s, yeah. The F10 sounds like a fighter jet. Yeah. F10s, which is pushing this whole ecosystem that they're trying to get DJs in now with wireless headphones, but it's basically zero latency, haven't they? You've tested them. The sound quality is ridiculous, isn't it?
Yeah. So this is the thing, that this was a real premium product that they brought out, and they brought out the Sonic Link headphones before they brought out the AZ or announced the AZ. So when they announced the headphones, it came with a transmitter, so you can plug it into any equipment, and you've got this like little box that you plug into your headphone jack output, and then that sends a wireless transmission to the headphones up to like 10 meters, I think it is. And ultimately it is trying to move this way of getting rid of wires, okay? And this is the first step for that. The Sonic Link technology was about, Alpha Theta announced it and released it with the Wave 8 speaker, which was like the first step into this. But you can see they're trying to move speakers, wireless headphones, get rid of the wires for our speaker and headphone range. And now that we've got that transmitter embedded into the AZ, it makes sense. And I can imagine most new pro-end equipment that they bring out will have this Sonic Link transmitter embedded in, and you just press a button on the front and it connects to your headphones, and it's just low latency, because if anyone knows, Bluetooth headphones just won't work because there's this latency.
Little delay.
You might press play and then you hear the action of you pressing play late. So not you can't really DJ with. Now, saying that, III have just announced their version of the wireless DJ headphones, straight off the back of Alpha Theta announcing theirs, but they're not available till 2025 next year apparently. So, but they've announced them. They've got their DJ version headphones that are wireless, exactly the same technology, pretty much their own proprietary version of the technology, but it's the same thing ultimately. You've got a transmitter, you've got the headphones. Now the downside to that is you won't have the transmitter embedded into any future gear because they're just a headphone manufacturer. So you can see the ecosystem building, can't you? 100%. Alpha Theta going, okay, well if you buy this, it makes sense for you to buy our headphones as well. Because they kind of just work together, and then buy the speakers, because then you can see it all starts going that way.
All the wedding DJs just racking up invoices. It's always funny when we put so our review and mix is out now. Did I do the mix?
Yeah, you did the mix.
This is how long we get stuff ahead. So I've done the mix and Jamie's done the full review. So you can go on our YouTube if you haven't already, or check out the Instagram if your attention span's only a minute long like mine.
I need to mention as well, Serato compatibility is coming in December apparently.
Oh, cool.
That's something to keep in mind.
Cool. So a lot of people are always like, oh my God, I've just bought an RX3, I've just bought an XZ.
I feel bad, man.
I just wonder so let's go through the sort of choices in this sort of range now, because there are quite a few, especially with Pioneer stuff, and Denon as well. So you've got, obviously, this is a replacement for the XZ. So you've got, should I upgrade? Should I get that? You've got the Opus Quad, which is out there, which is another 4-channel standalone. You've got the RX3, which is obviously 2-channel, but still,
it's got the newer, similar user interface and feels like the CDJ-3000s to a degree.
Yeah. And then you've got the Prime 4, which has an argument to feature for feature, as probably been there longer. It does what
Way longer.
Does everything that the AZ does. Has more streaming options.
Yep.
And is probably $1,000 cheaper close.
Yeah.
Which
at least,
which
probably
has
more.
been all up in the comments as well. So they're your sort of options in this sort of space, and it's getting a bit crowded now, to be fair.
It is, yeah.
But always like when something new comes out, this is when, if you're not bothered about all the shiny new stuff, this is where you get yourself a deal. If you're after a new 4-channel, like all the people will be selling their XZs like now.
Yeah.
So this is where you can get a deal.
I will say, yeah, the Denon Prime 4 Plus can't be forgotten about because
No.
it's from a technology
yeah.
standpoint and the tech features that are in it. It's got way more than the AZ, and that was released ages ago. Even just the normal Prime 4, not Prime 4 Plus, but either version, it was released ages ago, and it had that technology there. So huge shout out to InMusic and Denon on that because they pushed the industry forward to say, no, this is what people want, and it's forced, Pioneer DJ or Alpha Theta to bring it out and bring the thing out that people wanted. The only reason you'd really go for the AZ is because you want to be playing on CDJs and you want to mirror that CDJ setup that's found in most clubs around the world. But if you're a mobile or wedding DJ, like the Prime 4 Plus is probably potentially better.
Yeah. Unless you're again like with the whole ecosystem, unless you're like us, where you're an Apple user, where you can get this Sonic Link and you're going to get the speakers to go with it, and all of a sudden you're trapped. But yeah, so there's some questions. I've collated some questions from our review. So no stems. Is it difficult to add stems function? And there's not stems on the pads. There's not, is there?
Nope.
No stems on it, which is weird because we'll talk about the Groove 6, which is very stems heavy. Go on.
InMusic and Denon tried to make tried to bring out stems embedded into their Prime 4 as a firmware update. And it just, the sound quality was so bad, it's like almost unusable. So it's kind of pointless as a feature. It was like, we're first to the post. We've actually made it so that you don't have to have a laptop, but you can isolate the stems. But it kind of is so pointless because the use case is nil, really, with the quality. And this is the thing. We're waiting for technology to, I suppose, catch up and be affordable because you need the power of these Apple M1, M2
You need an
chips.
M3 chip inside of an XZ, which is not possible.
Yeah, so it'd make it extremely expensive, I'm guessing, but we're going that way.
Yeah.
It's going to happen.
But if you're using a laptop, you can MIDI it to one of the pads, right? You can MIDI. Simple as that. So for $1,000 less, you can get all the features, but a Prime 4 Plus. Yeah, we just talked about that. Is it obligatory to export to Library Plus mode? Do you know this?
Oh, that's a good question.
It's a good question. I wasn't sure. Maybe we'll look into it.
I'll look into it. I think everything now that gets released as the all-in-ones will be the Library Plus.
I think it is,
because it's the new user interface. It's the new sort of database that Pioneer have created for their systems. So that is a good question. I do need to triple check that. Yeah, I think it is.
Does it support Tidal integration?
Not yet.
And
I mean, so I asked them this. I said, like, look, Beatport's great, but what about the other streaming services? And I mean, the official word was like, we haven't forgot about them. It's coming. I have no idea when. And there's a lot to play at this because it comes down to, if the companies want it, and then all the development that goes into it and all the APIs and all that stuff. And then it's like, okay, well, if we put it on the AZ, does it go on the Opus Quad? Does it go on? How do we roll it out across the Omnis Duo and everything else in their range? And so there's many moving parts to it.
A lot of moving parts.
They've obviously gone Beatport. The people that are going to buy this product are probably more Beatport users because a lot of house, techno, like dance, electronic music. That's what a lot of the club DJs are playing on our equipment. So let's just start with that, and then we'll branch out into the other ones.
And also with there's a very sort of grey licensing issue as well around where Pioneer don't want to attach themselves to a SoundCloud streaming, which streaming. You're not really allowed to do it anyway. So with Beatport, you can imagine it's easier to get deals with independent labels on Beatport than it is with the majors. So there's a little bit of a grey area there. Does it have internal SSD input or not? Does it?
No, there's no internal SSD. Again, another Prime Denon use case. If you want that internal storage, then Denon's the way.
When is it released? I think it's taking pre-orders from all I know.
It'll be now, yeah.
But you can take pre-orders on it now. It's not as big as issue as it used to be, like after COVID when there was like all chips backed up and it was taking months. Don't think it's that, but you can pre-order everything now as we speak. Can you connect an RMX 1000 or DJS 1000 to this? If so, I'm sold. Does it have send returns?
Let me just get the picture up here.
Oh, we've got picture. Here we go. If you're watching on YouTube, there it is. It is. If you are watching, I'm just going to mention something now, and this is going to annoy you. So, if you look at the screen, it's slightly off center, which is when you see it, it's a bit annoying, and it's just because they've got the toggle to the right of the screen, haven't they? Yeah. And then is there?
But it's centered to the
it's centered to the channels.
So yeah.
Yeah.
If you're looking at totally aesthetics as like a picture like this, it jars you when you see it. But when you're using it, it doesn't make any difference.
The screen super high def is really nice.
As far as I'm aware, there's not a send and return.
I don't think there is. I think somebody else mentioned it.
XDJ-AZ. It's one of those things that it's nearly there. It's nearly a full club setup.
Two of the questions is like, do you think there's going to be an updated Opus Quad or CDJ-3000s? It's so funny when stuff comes out. It's like, when's the next thing? Opus Quad's a weird one. Like I don't ever see them making anything else like that whatsoever. Yeah. It's just, I don't know. It's almost like it was just some guy's passion project, and they're like, yeah, roll with it. But I don't ever see them branching that range out. I just think it is what it is. CDJ-4000s, we're nowhere near that, I don't think. But
I think we'll get, like with the CDJ-2000s, we've got 2000 Nexus, 2000 Nexus 2. I think we'll get a 3000 like Mark II, or like iterations of it. I don't think they're going to warrant a whole new system. I think it will be like iterations that in keep with some of the developments they're making from Rekordbox, and I think like connectivity and stuff will become a thing. It might be that they just get Wi-Fi in it or something instead.
Exactly. So that's the XZ. AZ. Can't stop it. That's the AZ. Go and check out our mix and review on our YouTube channel. DJ Groove 6 has come out as well, and again, you know what I've done here? I've typed in GR6. What is me and letters and numbers?
It's starting to get complicated.
They are too complicated. DJ Groove 6 GRV6. Now, we were really excited about this one. The response online, which isn't true to people that are buying stuff, was more negative than I thought it would be. But basically, the big features of this is a controller that looks like CDJ-3000s and an A9 mixer in a controller.
And 4 channels.
And 4 channels, 4 channels as well. Full controller. The main talking point has got his groove circuit, which we'll come on to. But it is like a CDJ DJM style layout. You've got the smart rotary selector. It's Rekordbox and Serato compatible, and it includes stems features from both. Multi-device compatibility as well.
Just to reiterate, this is a controller.
This
it
is
needs
full
to be
controller
plugged into a laptop or an iPod or mobile device. Everything that they're releasing now, I think, now has the connectivity to their Rekordbox app. And I'm guessing things like Algorithm DJ will get mapped out pretty quickly to these products. So it is just a controller, not to be confused with the AZ, which is standalone.
But you did the review on it. What's your thoughts on it?
So this was released to replace the Flex 6, which is part of their Flex range. We've got the Flex 4, we've got the Flex 6, we've got the Flex 10. This is to replace the Flex 6.
And it's worth saying that we weren't fans of Flex 6.
No.
Very strongly. If you listen to this podcast for a long time, or seeing the review, we weren't about it at all. We've not done many videos with it because we just don't really like it.
No. So the thing for me straight away, the standout thing was that the Flex 6, it didn't have any kind of balanced outputs. It was like an entry-level controller at a more premium price point that just had an extra gimmicky feature with the merge effects, but the 4 channels was the big standout thing for people, and the bigger jog wheels. Now, the Groove 6, they've updated the things that matter. It feels ever so slightly more premium. It's got balanced outputs. It's not XLR, but you've got jack
TRS,
balance.
is it?
Yeah, you've got, the 1/4-inch jack balanced output. So again, it's a step up. It's a bit better.
Yeah.
If you want the XLRs, you get the Flex 10. It's stepped way more in the right direction, and just the fact that it's got the proper layout of the CDJ-3000s, it's got all these effects on board, which are like hardware effects because it works with Serato, the effects, so they're embedded into the unit. You can plug in external units for channels 3 and 4. Am I right in saying that?
I think you're saying that.
Am I right in saying that?
Get the picture up.
Well, this is the front of it. No, but it is just a much better step in the right direction. It feels much more premium to play on, and I feel like the layout is much cleaner with the pads being above, with the performance pads being above, and the fact that it's got stems at the forefront. It's really thinking about how we can use stems, not just to like make a mashup and make an instrumental a cappella. Like that's sort of been done. It's like, well, where's the future of stems going? So they've thought, okay, well, it's great to be able to remove the drums of a track. And a lot of DJs, to make this simple step into just making live edits and remixes, might want to just swap an element out. So why don't we build this thing called the groove circuit, which, again, if you're watching, it's along the top of the unit, and there's all these orange buttons, and basically all these buttons allow you to trigger samples, like drum samples that are already built into Rekordbox or Serato, and just not in Serato, sorry, layer them in Rekordbox underneath the track. So it removes the drums and it adds some new drums. So you can quickly take like a house track and add some breaks drums underneath, which changes the whole vibe of the track. Or you could have something that's, you know, maybe a techno track, but you want to turn it into a bit more of a housey style to then transition your set, and you can just swap the drums out with the press of a button. And it is a cool feature. And I thought when I read the press release, it was going to be a bit of a gimmick, like some of these things that get added to controllers.
The merge effects and stuff on the Flex 6 were just awful, and the jog cutter, they were just awful. And sometimes it's like you try and go feature heavy to try and give it some unique selling points, and it's just a bit overkill.
But this is actually a practical selling point, and it's something that, you know, people have already emailed asking, like, should I get the Flex 10 or should I get this? Should I get the Flex 10? And they are different in this sense now, because if you're attracted to this groove circuit functionality and the idea of it, then it's a unique thing to this controller that is actually quite usable. And when I was playing on it, I was like, actually, I enjoyed, like in my performance mix that I did, I really enjoyed pushing it to its limits and trying it out and really testing it.
But the popularity of, you know, RMX 1000s and DJS 1000s and, you know, Fredigans and stuff putting extra units, this is where it's going, and they know that, and they want to give people a practical way to use it without having, you know, crazy DJ knowledge, and it does do that. And they sound good. The issue is, when using it with Rekordbox, is that the stems issue. We'll come on and talk about the new update, but the stem, when you use it, because the drum samples are so clean, when you go into stems mode on Rekordbox, which aren't clean, that's the issue. It starts
to stand out a bit, and in like a real, like, serious live performance or a mix, you might start to think, oh, it's not quite there. Just before we get onto the Rekordbox update and the stems, the other thing to shout about this is that I think, is it £719 here in the UK? If you could just get the price up. Now,
so £719, $829, 849 euros.
Now, trust me when I say this is amazing value for money.
This is a good price.
The Flex 6 was, if not a little bit more, or a very similar price, or if not a little bit more. And that was the big downside of it, is the price didn't match the quality of it or the feature set. This is more aligned. I feel like the slight quality upgrade, but the feature set as well. I feel like this is a really good price point, and I actually thought it was going to be more like the £900 mark.
100%. So, even touching 1,000. So it's a great. It's everything you would want at this price bracket. It follows that journey of getting people to CDJs and A&M mixer in a club. It looks like it. It's got a great. I love the black matte finish on it. It's it's really nice. It's really hard to get across finishes in it on a YouTube video.
This is a hard thing. So people see pictures and you make a judgment. We get the same. We get the pictures or the press release before we get the product in our hands, and we make our judgments exactly the same as everyone watching online. And what is this? Like, that looks like a bit of a gimmick. And it's only until you get on it and start using it, you're like, right. So as a DJ, I want to achieve X, Y, and Z. This is really doing it for me. And you've got to bear in mind, like, us at Crossfader, we're coming from like a creative standpoint. Like, how can we, you know, play with music? How can we do something fun with music? How can we be unique as a DJ and experiment? And that's where these products really tick the mark for us there.
I think, like, if you remove that groove circuit off the top of it, and you've got basically, you know, CDJ-3000 A9 in a controller, and you said £700, I'd be like, oh yeah, that makes sense. But to add that in as well at the top, I want to touch on the Serato use for it as well, because it comes with these this overlay sticker at the top. So if you are a Serato user, you just basically, because the groove circuit's got controls for all the drums at the top of it, so it says stem drum loop or something like that at the top of it, doesn't it? But it comes with this overlay sticker for Serato, so it just turns it basically into stems for Serato, doesn't it?
Yeah, and it's got some extra stems features. So there's like hardware-based stems effects that Alpha Theta have built into the unit, which isn't in the Serato software currently. And you can do like rolls on the stems, you can do effects on the stems, you can do trans effect on the stems. So there's loads of functionality now built into the stems around Serato. It doesn't have the same groove circuit where it swaps the drums out. That's unique to Rekordbox. It's a different approach. You kind of like it taps into the Serato DJ more though. The style of mixing that the Serato DJ will want, it really taps into that. And it's cool as well. The Flex 6, one of the other issues with the Flex 6 being a flexible controller, it didn't map out to Serato at all. Right. Like, it was all labeled wrong when you plugged it into Serato.
That's always been the issue.
Now they've done it right.
Yeah.
It's like what it says is what it does.
Yes. Yeah.
So it's good, and that's why they've given these overlays, because the thing that is different, now you can just put the overlay on, and then it's labeled right on the hardware. So I do like that they've stepped further into this flexible range, even though it's not called the Flex 6. It's, that's already out there.
Yeah.
Are we going to move away from performance pads? This is what I'm interested in.
Yes, I was about to say.
Because of the CDJ style pads across the top now, is that going to become like the standard?
I think it's more of a broader term of like this, all of that, like the battle culture and chopping it with music seems to be a lot quieter, and the rise of the producer DJ seems to be getting bigger.
Yeah.
So I think that's where they're just basically following the trends of where it's at. You people who are pioneering the DJ scene, like your Fred Agains and stuff, who were playing with music live in a more electronic way, as opposed to scratching and looping and doing tone plays, that kind of thing. And I think that's more of like a cultural shift than anything.
I suppose,
but it is interesting.
Artists are going into the charts,
Yes.
who are DJs,
Who are DJs,
like these
yeah.
DJ artists. So people are then wanting to become DJs off the back of their favorite DJs, but they're making music. Whereas before it was very separate.
Yes.
You had bands and artists like singers,
Singers.
and then you had DJs who people knew were like people who either played on the radio or mixed records and music that was pre-recorded music.
Yeah.
And that line's been blurred so much that new people coming into the industry are like, oh, a DJ makes music, right? Like a DJ plays with music and does all this stuff, and I think that's where we are getting that cultural shift.
And I think it's a great way. If you're a beginner, you get one of these Groove 6s and you swap out a drum for the first time without no knowledge, you'd be like, whoa, that sounds sick. You couldn't do that before. If you if you had like turntables or something, it's like you've got hours to spend, which is like a gift and a curse in some ways, isn't it? But
put it this way, we have to send these products back. Like pretty much after a week of having them, we make the review, make things, they get sent back, they get sent around as test units to all the different media outlets. But this was the product that I was like, buy it. Yeah. Don't miss out on this. So, we've bought one as a normal customer, obviously, bought it from our local DJ store. It's on pre-order. We'll get it at the end of the month. I'm excited to get it back so I can get playing on it again.
Yeah. We're going to need it then eventually, aren't we?
We are,
in the midst of the chaos of headphones, two new controller and a new standalone, there's been a very quiet Rekordbox update. It's Rekordbox 704. I think it's full release now. Is it beta or is it full?
No, it's out.
Full release
Go
as
to
of
the
this morning as we're recording this. And it's got updated stems. So it's
which is really annoying for the Groove 6 review, because it's like, you can't really shout about that because it's not out yet. But then, I don't know. It's a bit of a... Anyway.
But so updated basically in this new release is obviously Groove 6 compatibility, AZ compatibility, added Groove Circuit. Now we just talked about what a Groove Circuit is, but they've added it in Rekordbox. So I guess no matter
you can just use your mouse and go, I'll do this myself.
So no matter what controller you're using, or as long as you're using Rekordbox, you can now use the Groove Circuit. Now, we've not experimented. I don't know if you can pad this or map it. I'm guessing you probably can, but we haven't. It literally just happened. So, Groove Circuit now, if you update Rekordbox, is in Rekordbox. And now, performance feature update with stems. So, basically, you can now prioritize sound quality or speed. You've heard them. Are they better but not great?
Shall I try and get it now?
You try and get it. So, basically, when using stems, it is now basically possible to prioritize sound quality or speed. They've also added a setting that enables editing a track metadata by double clicking on the track. Also added the ability to view and delete duplicate tracks, which is a really annoying thing that's not many DJ softwares allow you to do. Something that I use sort of Lexicon for, which to find like duplicates of tracks, which I've got like thousands and thousands of, and when you delete them, you save yourself so much gig.
Right, so this is what it was like before. This is a track from the previous Add to Playlist, because I've got some new ones. So this you should have heard before.
This got a vocal? No.
Has it?
I don't think so.
What about this one? What about this one?
I don't think it's that.
I just need a normal song, right? But anyway, this is without it. So this is previous. These are just the drums. Just the instruments.
So that's harsh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Vocals.
There's no vocals.
I mean, there's a few sample vocals.
Yeah.
Can I? here. But it sounds a bit messy, right?
It's artifacts.
Yeah. So if I just stop that there and then I just go, I've got to reload the track. Prioritize sound quality now.
Sound quality. This was something that Serato did when it first came out, wasn't it? You could like pre-analyze them.
Right, so the same place with just the vocals. A bit better.
Yeah.
In the center of the track where we had everything, let me go to instruments. That's just the bass.
Okay.
So that's just much better is the instrument.
Good. Yeah.
She kind of just, there's not as much bleed over there.
No.
So that's just the instruments, then just the drums.
Okay. We're getting there.
You can still hear little bits cutting in.
They're very high. Let's try another one. I'm interested.
This Candy Shop got a vocal.
Let's get the vocal.
Yeah,
that is. Oh, it's taking. Depends what.
It's a bit long.
Depends what.
Right, hold on. So Candy Shop here. If we just go over just vocal.
You should be able to hear that riser. Oh.
Yeah, let me go back to the. Let's go just instrumental here. So it's got rid of the vocal well.
That's okay. That's pretty good.
So it's got rid of it well. So instrument, you can get away with just getting instrumental out.
So now can you go to Groove Circuit and
so if I enable the Groove Circuit.
This is live. This is very live.
Groove Circuit. I need to then show it. It's one of these toggles up
This
here.
is out now as well, by the way, so you can go and try this out for yourself for your Rekordbox user. It's a shame that they didn't buy the Serato, otherwise they could have just had Serato stems.
Right, hold on. You're putting me on the right. Enable Groove Circuit.
It's enabled.
Display track titles, drum, stem, track. Why is it not showing up?
Is it not?
It should show up there. One of these. Not in the mixer.
No.
Not in the sampler. Not in mix point link. There, Groove Circuit.
We got it!
Hey! Right. So if I just swap it,
so we're gonna swap out drums. Oh,
techno drums.
Off phrase, isn't it? Oh.
Back to the original.
Okay.
Should we go to another one?
Yeah. Can you change the volume on them or not?
You can change the volume on the Groove Circuit. So I'll bring this down now. Listen.
Yeah. Some of them sound okay.
Yeah,
it's
so
better than
it
it
works
was.
much better. Yeah, works much better. Okay.
Maybe we just do live reviews from now on.
Yeah, maybe.
So that is all the information about everything Alpha Theatre, basically. There's been so much, but all information. You should go to wearecrossfader.co.uk if you want any information on all of this stuff. You can check it out. Are we going to do some add to playlist? Seems we've got some music playing.
Yeah, why don't we do that?
Yeah, let's get some add to playlists on.
Cool.
Remember, guys, we are in the middle of a sale. It's 35% off all DJ courses until Sunday the 13th. I want to say 30th. I've said it 3 times. 35% off all courses. Go to wearecrossfader.co.uk. And yeah, go and check out all the reviews for the latest Alpha Theatre stuff. We're going to play add to playlist now, where we provide you with a few tracks, all edits, all usually free downloadable, and we'll put all the track lists in our Discord for you to go and listen to and download if you like them. First one. Have you got one?
Yeah.
Let's go.
Let's go. I might play around with the stems while we're
let's
doing it as well, just
a
to
live
test
DJ
it.
set. Oh, I'm already in. I think I remember this edit.
You're not real.
So skip in.
Yeah.
What we're feeling?
We're feeling garagey.
Okay.
Feeling
Skip in a
two-steppy.
bit more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know why Chip mentioned my name, but Devil Man's trying to get attention again. Told you before.
So a real ode to the UK scene, obviously.
Because I'm up there sitting on the plane that I can't really hear what the people are. This man taking the 0121 star.
Is it enough?
I
like it.
Let's switch the vocal out.
Go on then, go on.
Yeah.
Nice that.
You know?
Sounds
Get
a
through
lot
the vocal
better.
well. Let me just do the vocal.
It's my boss totally burnt. Your boss sound like you're smoking the work.
Just the vocal is what needs work.
It needs a little bit of work.
What I want for certain man. Thought it was a clash about
Yeah.
music.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, devil man, you want to sperm
Okay.
on man. Like a TV, you want to turn on.
Is it going
I
in
like
the
it- I like
playlist?
this track
You
though.
like that one?
I
Yeah.
like this track though.
Okay.
That is nasty edit.
I can't remember what any of these tracks are because you kind of put me on the spot. So these are just ones that I've liked recently.
Yeah, I was supposed to do add to playlist, but my laptop wouldn't connect.
Should we try this one?
Yeah. So that was Clue, nasty edit, but we'll put all the track lists in later. I've got some E-Fan stuff. It's usually pretty good. This. Yeah. Let's have a look.
Let's skip him.
Bit of disclosure.
See, is White Noise? This is White Noise, by the way. Is White Noise like a classic now? Is it old enough to be like a classic? It's very old.
I'd say classic. Yeah. Is throwback different?
Yeah.
Is it a
maybe,
different era?
maybe.
Is but throwback older or not? I think throwback is newer.
classification.
Throwback is newer, isn't it?
So I think this is updated, like
yeah.
modernized so well.
That's naughty, isn't it?
See what the vocal-
Put some house drums on that.
Oh, it's not good with that vocal now, but it's quite quiet. Right, so what should we switch?
Can you put some house drums on that?
If I load in a different pack,
yeah,
hold on
packs
here. Get the packs out. House.
Heavy.
I'm just flicking through them now.
That was good.
That one's cool.
That one works.
Probably because it's similar structure to the
Similar,
original.
yeah. I like this one.
But yeah, that's a vibe, right?
White
That's a
Noise,
vibe.
Ethan bootleg.
That's right.
I like
That's
that
right. Right, let's just try anything here.
Let's go. Every man.
Every Man, Jack Jr.
Ooh, little organ. Oh yeah. Hello.
Let's skip to the break.
Ooh, it's kind of got that disco-y vibes.
Sampled, nice.
Like it.
Build up.
What's the build up saying? Oh yeah. Oh, don't ruin
Speed
it.
garage.
Don't ruin it.
Is it too obvious? Speed garage.
I kind of wanted organ, do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
I didn't
yeah,
want warpy.
Yeah. Oh, sorry.
The build up and everything was so good, and then
Yeah.
I think the drop just needed more organ.
It had the more 4x4
Yeah, it did,
warpiness going on. Right,
Yeah,
let's
yeah.
try something totally different.
Yes. What's this? Novelist.
Times Mum
This is
Dance.
proper UK.
It's not buffered yet. We're hoping it. Yeah, there we go.
Oh,
Let me kill it with flow. At the same time, they be chatting about
yeah.
road.
So it's a bootleg this.
I'm in.
Most of the man them rep the postcode, but I don't know why we like the postcode. Bigger man suits.
Has it made it out of the UK yet? Is this like?
Definitely like New Zealand, Australia.
Yeah.
Heavy.
So again, similar to the first one I played, it's got that same vibe.
But like there was a big DJ awards the other week, and like Sammy Vergy won like best breakthrough or something.
Yeah.
So it's
It's there. It's going. It's
he's
going.
championing the scene.
So that's Novelist times Mum Dance.
I like it.
1 sec.
It's a bit of me.
Bush Baby
Garage
bootleg.
UKG.
Okay.
Do one more? One more?
Yeah, we'll go for one more. I don't
Do
know which
one
one
more.
this is. They should all be decent.
Yeah.
If I've liked them.
All the same BPM. Oh yeah. That might be the best. Oh, do you hear that reverb? Whoa!
It just, you know what? When a hi-hat hits like that, and it's just so simple, but it just works.
Baller.
Baller, spelled B-A-W-L-E-R, and this is drummer. What else does it do?
What else is it?
Oh, I like when it slows down like that. Okay, that's the find. That's the find of the podcast.
That is naughty.
Went to the sound of the
Oh, little instrumental.
Just the
remover.
drums. I should say as well that with the Groove 6, there's the ability to capture as well. So you can capture the drums just from a song and drag them in and then have those drums. So if you really like let's say
That
this
drum
track
beat,
here,
that drum
you
beat.
think, I've just isolated the drums now. If you think these are sick, right?
yeah.
I want to layer this over some other track.
Right.
You can capture these drums and then they go into
Put
the
them in the
groove
sample
circuit.
bank.
Yeah, into the groove circuit. And you
that's
can do it and
fun.
then layer those drums over something totally different. So you can just capture it
fun.
from tracks you already own. Now, obviously, it can't be
Yeah.
streaming songs. It's got to be songs that you have downloaded to your drive.
I like that.
That's going in, right?
Oh yeah, I've done it. I've already done 4-6. Like, I've just had like an image of like a full of somebody putting a full set together like that. With like pulling drums from other bits, but like just an hour's worth of like drums going into different drums. But yeah,
I think that the
amazing.
key
Yeah,
thing
yeah, yeah.
about this is that there's a few features here. The groove circuit is a step into this new direction of a bit like stems was. It's like, okay, we've got stems. How can we then push the technology further again and introduce this live element, which a lot of people are craving for, and it's the first step into it.
It's
So
like
I think,
what is a DJ becoming?
Yeah.
That's what the main thing is. It's like, what is a DJ becoming? Somebody who is now on stage selling out. The rock stars of the world who are headlining Coachellas. Like, what is that? Like, what does that look like in the future? And that's what they're just leaning into, basically.
straight away, I'm listening to that, and we're doing this live now. And this is it's like us downloading and previewing tracks ready for a set. This is what we're doing with you, and deciding if they're going to go in the playlist. But straight away, I'm not just judging the track on the whole track. I'm like, well, is there a part of this track that I want to use for something else? These drums are sick, and maybe I just want to pull these drums and do something else with it. So I'm now thinking differently, and I'm thinking, what more can this track offer me? And I think this is what we want to try and get in the mind frame of, is this hybrid approach of combining elements, now that we've got that opportunity to really combining elements of songs together to create something totally unique.
Guys, please leave a comment and subscribe to the podcast. That would be amazing. Remember, the sale is on till Sunday, the 13th of October. Thank you so much for listening. We will be back next week. Thanks for listening. See you soon. Peace.